Alright, welcome in. Skid is representing the Dogbot Desdogs. Bees is representing SJTUA. And Cryoterra opens up against Grufflin. Let's see how this one goes. And, well, both these teams really looking for a win here. Now, if I actually go over to the team lists as Grufflin awakens, gets the analysis in, boosts that defense, hit and run to chip away big time. About 70% already onto that Cryoterra. And Malzuri is brought in to tank the Cone of Cold. SJTUA, their team consists of Malzuri, Grufflin, Lasergen Fire, Craggleday, Ella Fortune, Arthopex, Dracothread, Relicanus, Caramello, Goliage, Zapoera, and Humbiscus. Meanwhile, the Dogbot Desdogs, they have Tarionyx, Girocera, Cryoterra, and Hit and Run is landed. Heal Jelly to bump up that health a little bit more. Anyways, they also have Hahayina, Gagarlic, Spunny, Skadine, Tasmarauder, Seamstress, Bionotic, Gramantle A, and Fancyune. But here is that Girocera tanking the Tsunami and Jelly Lover, instantly bringing back that health. That Heal Jelly is once again in play. Now Girocera can hit big with the plant type attacks, but if there's a switch, we could see a poison type move brought onto that Grufflin. Will we see a prediction play, or will Bees just go straight for the attack? Now, obviously, if he does go for the poison type attack, that's super risky, considering there is no switch. He's just immune. But Grufflin is back in play, analytical, to boost magic attack. And there's the Goo Blast read for 50% damage. Big hit, and a big prediction so far to help out the Desdogs in this battle. That's the second round pick against the other second round pick by both sides. They were only drafted 6 places apart in the draft. Girocera was picked 17th, Grufflin 23rd. There is the Gramantle, hit and run. Lands a critical hit. Spiky Thorns for a little bit more chip. And here is the Arthopex. Yeah, that Gramantle is being switched out into Girocera. Huh, so there's a bug with okay, so that kind of explains things. The Gramantle is bugged. That's why it is not Gramantle Air. So there's no issues there. As Ella Fortune is brought in, I was a little confused on that, but that resolves things. There is Spunny brought in against this Ella Fortune. Now, obviously, its Spirit type moves will not be doing anything to the Light type. Although it would have been super effective if it was just Mind. And it has to switch out into Bionotic, and all of a sudden we now know 5 Doodles on that side. Flashbang for a little bit of damage. onto that Bionotic. We go back to the teams. Bionotic was landing Tsunami, scared, ran back to the party. Cryoterra's brought in, and Radiant Beam for the KO, and Cryoterra is down. Bionotic was the third to last pick by the Desdogs. And an unfortunate play forces that Cryoterra out once again, and all it really could do was just a little bit of damage. Here's Geosera once again. Really threatening to the Grufflin, to the Ella Fortune. But the Caramello is brought in. It tanks the Life Sap. It can hit it big. Food Beast type. I don't think it was drafted. Let me actually check. How was it acquired? I think it was acquired in a trade. It was. So it was a three-way trade that brought Caramello to SJTUA. Potterfiend ended up going to the Doodle Bobs. Tactical Flong Strike ended up going to Tactical Flong Strike, and Caramello ended up going to SJTUA. Life Sap once again to heal up Bestial Roar, doing a little bit but not enough. And there's the Fireball. Life Sap for the KO. And we are tied. One Doodle knocked out both sides. And here comes that Ella Fortune once again. It can hit big with a Flashbang or with a Psycho Force, but Life Sap goes first. Doesn't do too much. And Psychokinetic Launch does not get the KO. But Brainwash means that it will not get any more healing from Refresh as it gets switched out. So it will remain at very low HP. And he has to switch out into Bionotic. And Grufflin is brought in. Good positioning for Skid and the Desdogs. But Hit and Run allows it to pivot. Now, there isn't really any safe option for bees. There are resistances, but there also is a move that could hit that Doodle hard. Whether it be Malzuri brought in, that Psycho Force can hit hard, or if Ella Fortune is in, that Tsunami can still hit pretty hard. But it will be Exoskeletons who gets one hit KO'd by the Psycho Force. And the misplay by Bees puts the Desdogs in the lead. One Mystery Doodle on both sides. I was not expecting that Doodle to be brought in. And Malzuri returns to the field. Another interesting play. Now, that Mystery Doodle for the Desdogs, it could be Tarionyx, could be Hyena, Gem Blast into that Bionotic. Perhaps realizing there isn't really any option. And the Malzuri's down. This is not a good spot for Bees, as it really seems like he just does not have any answer to the Bionotic. And there's Craggle Day, the last Doodle. It will not awaken because we've already seen the awakened Grufflin. The last chance, really, for Bees to get a KO here. That Mystery Doodle for Desdogs, like I said, it could be Tarionyx, it could be Hyena, could be Good Garlic, could be Skadeen, could be Tasmarauder, or Seamstress, or Fancyune. There's Spunny, Earthquake, to do 50%. Gets a little bit of healing from Stitching and Use Crayon, so it should survive one more hit. And it's not looking good for Guy with Bees right now. Ella Fortune's brought back in Burning Orb. And it heals even more from that used crayons, from that stitching. And it has to switch out back into Bionotic, nullifying Brainwash. Radiant Beam for big damage. It's a critical hit. That might just be what Bees needs to actually survive this Bionotic, but there are still chances of a Storm Heal. This could be very scary if it can land it. It's really Ella Fortune, one last hope here. Tsunami, not for the KO. Radiant Beam takes out the Bionotic. And it will survive by a sliver. There goes the Bionotic. It now gives a little more wiggle room for Craggleday and Grufflin to make some big plays. But losing this Ella Fortune is going to cost greatly. There's Tarionyx. Lowering the speed, making sure that the Tarionyx goes first. Obviously, now that the light type is gone, the Gramantle and the Spunny have a lot more room to make big plays. That Girocera, once again, is still very low, so it is still pretty close. And the Gramantle at 78%, the Spunny at 74%, and the Tarionyx at 100%. Meanwhile, the Craggleday 91, Grufflin at 28%. There's Bestial Wrath for the KO. Is there really anything that they can do to this Tarionyx? It'd have to be a critical hit Heat Bash. But even after that, there's still so many other Doodles in the way. This thing is a lethal ornament, so it will get a little bit more chip. There's Earthquake for the KO. It's a critical hit. Would that have mattered? It might have, but that Spunny is down, and it's a 2v3. That's big for SJTUA. Looking to squeak out a win. 2 big critical hits. Crude, once again, lowering that speed. Giving them a lot more options. Obviously now, I think the Tarionyx will go first. And there it is, Earthquake for the KO. It's a critical hit as well. The luck goes both sides. And the Gruffin is the last Doodle available. It boosts its defense. But it can't KO this Tarionyx. And even if it could, there's 3 other Doodles. The Girocera. Nosedive. That does lose them a point, but that now brings in Crew to lower the speed of the Grufflin. And now it's a 2v1. And all this Tarionyx needs is 1 attack to land. Can Bees survive? I don't think he can. Probably looking at the speed calculations right now, looking to see is it able to outspeed. Although I don't think it really matters now. Just hit it. And hit and pray. That's really just it. Nosedive and pray. Moving down that clock. Really just waiting for it. 25 seconds. Waiting for that play. And there it is. All that waiting just for the Bestial Wrath to land the KO. And just like that, Dogbot Desdogs take the 2-0 win. 2 points for them, and they go up 4-3 in the series. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Peace out.